Going live. Always something going up there, huh? Always something. Good morning. Ooh, I just realized I should probably pump up the volume on the font size so I can do it. Hey, good morning, Notion Nana. I hope you are feeling better. Happy Friday. Danielle, nice to see you too. Becky, good morning. In Barbara Dean 777. I had to pause there because my inner monologue is in a Boston accent, so I want to call you Barbara. But I stopped and I put the where it belonged, Abbott Elementary, I see you. TGI Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I never saw the video, or the movie, but I saw the commercials for it a wicked lot when I was growing up. So good morning. Spreading sunshine, good morning. Spread a little bit over here. Actually, the sunshine has been spreading over here, but it's kind of cloudy and gray out. It is November. I shouldn't be complaining, but I will. It's starting to look a lot like November, and November spawned a monster. What can I say? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tracy. And so it is Friday. It is Friday. We made it through the week. Now we have a weekend ahead of us. 8 a.m. on Friday, November 15th. I always look over there because that's where it shows up on my other computer screen. Okay. Very good question. So, very, very foggy there, and foggy in Pittsburgh. I remember that song. Wasn't that an old jazz standard? So Becky, it's kind of cloudy here in on the Philly side of the state too. So it must be just that time of the season. So Oceanana is asking if we need to let you know about joining Sunday's decluttering. So if somebody's reading that and they're like, what is she talking about? Let me give you some context. So first of all, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth, and I'm a decluttering life coach, and I have this thing called Destination Decluttered. Now that's me here on TikTok making videos. That's me with a mailing list. That is me with my one-on-one paying clients. Now I like to treat my people nicely. So once a month, what I do for free for my people on my free mailing list, because I only say free because people have asked me if it costs money to sign up for my mailing list. And I say no, because it surprises me that anybody would charge. But regardless, this Sunday, people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list have been invited to what I'm calling a decluttering party. Now, we've done this a couple of times before, and it's been wicked fun. So we're doing it again on Sunday, and it is a thing where we all sign on to Zoom at the same time, and we use that hour to hour and a half to 2 hours, however long you want to be on there, to get some camaraderie and some community and some encouragement, because you're not just there doing it alone. You've got kind of the hive mind, as I like to call it. So to answer your specific question, Ocean, you don't need to tell me if you're showing up. It's kind of like an open house. I will do it if one person shows up. I will do it if no people show up. I'll just stay there on Zoom and organize my own stuff. But we usually have a nice group of people. And what we do is we all show up. You already know what you're going to work on, because you've picked something maybe that you've been dragging your feet on. Like last month when we did it, I had some tax paperwork that had been just hanging over me. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. I wasn't doing it. Now, it wasn't so drastic that it was, I was getting in trouble, but it was like, I will feel better once it's done. So that is this Sunday. If you're on the mailing list, you have received a notification to remind you of it. If you are just hopping on the mailing list today or before Sunday, I will send out an info reminder about that. Okay, so do not worry. And I always forget this part. If you want to sign up for the mailing list, this is how you do it. This is how we do it. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. You don't even need to do the /join part, but that's the direct thing. Even if you go to DestinationDecluttered.com, the homepage of my website, just scroll all the way to the bottom, and then there's a little form that says put your email here and put a little code there saying I'm not a robot, and you'll be all set. Okay? So that's what that's all about. So Oceanana, I hope it helped you. Now, speaking of decluttering, while people are here, a lot of people who have been kind of showing up for my TikTok lives do the same thing. So just so you know, I tend to do an hour-long TikTok. I start at top of the hour, and they are scheduled. So some people knew that, again, the people on the mailing list knew I was going to show up today at 8 a.m., which I did. If you want to know the schedule of when I'm going to show up for TikTok Lives, I have updated it. So all of next week's TikTok Lives schedule is also available to the people on the mailing list. Again, another nice to have thing. So in the meantime, while I'm sitting here chatting with you guys, some people are doing decluttering. Feel free to join them. I'm going to be talking about and helping people with decluttering and rambling and breaking out into song and being, doing some riffing for the next hour or so. So I'm hanging out with you. If you want to declutter, start with your surface clutter. Anything on a surface, any of the mundane stuff that you can do while also listening to something. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, I will be working on my kitchen while we are here and gifting a few things. Now, Kat Roby says, hey-o. I always feel like you're, what's his name, Ed McMahon on the Tonight Show. God, that's a deep cut. That is a deep cut, because that is even when we were young, they were on TV. Kat likes to call it her Beth Blinders. So when I show up on TikTok, she puts on her blinders and goes and does some decluttering. So she says, Beth Blinders to start laundry and approach a scary bag of papers. Ooh. Ooh. I felt like my dad when I just did that. That's very funny. He would be singing, If I Didn't Care For You. The guy from the Ink Spots. But I digress. Kat, when you get to the scary paperwork, I want you to let me know what you were scared of. What's the scariest thing in that paperwork you found? Share it with me so I can help walk you through the scary parts, okay? It may not be as scary. It may just be the fact that you have delayed it so long, but once you open it up, you're like, this isn't scary at all, Charlie Brown. Silly. And then Laura is encouraging Kat. Look at this. Such good people. Such good people. Laura is saying one piece of paper at a time. We understand how it feels. Yeah, we do. We do. So, I love it. Becky is putting away 2 baskets of laundry. All right, Nana's going to be in the kitchen too. Therapy Gal Sue says, hi, a bit early to get out of bed today. You don't have to get out of bed. I'm decluttering emails and photos. Yeah, I will be honest with you. The way the weather is, I am definitely, and please remind yourself of this, you are an alive being on the planet. And much like the animals respond to the times of the season and the weather, you are allowed to do that. I joke, but I'm serious when I say when you sign up for the mailing list, one of the things you promise, you check a box that says, I am not a robot. You're not a robot. So on cold mornings when it's darker later and you don't feel like getting out of bed, it's a little bit early, you don't have to get out of bed. At least not for me anyway. Okay. My husband was talking, Oceanana, the long story short is you do not have to RSVP for my party. You show up. It's going to be like an open house. Show up when you can, how long, whatever, okay? Does that help? Give me a yes so I know you heard me, dearie, okay? Good. All right. Now, Danielle says, I'm so glad I'm working from home today. I go in office 2 days a week, and now it's rough after 4 years from home. Yeah, talk about a muscle that you have not exercised in 4 years. I have been out of the office and kind of public-facing, making my money working world for 8 years now. And boy, did it feel weird. It felt really weird when I did it. You guys, I up and quit a job because I was like, enough of that. I can't stand it anymore. And I need to, before I die, I need to do something that I love. But I didn't the net was there. Do not get me wrong. The net did appear, but man, it was rough. So Danielle, on the opposite, just think, you're comfortable doing some stuff. You're comfortable doing some things. When you're decluttering, even, you will be doing things you're not used to. You're not familiar with it. It's not your habit. So decluttering may feel temporarily uncomfortable on the way to kind of building the new habits, okay? Good, okay, Oceanana got me. Just went, Indiana got me. Indiana wants me. That's even a deep cut for me. So, here I am for you as I show up in service to you. Every TikTok Live is a little bit different. I don't have an agenda except for helping you with where you're stuck, where you're struggling, clutter-wise. And sometimes it overlaps into otherwise, but I like to keep to the clutter because you can learn so much about decluttering that you can also choose to apply to other areas of your life. Now, again, if we haven't met before and you don't know who I am and how I talk, besides in a Boston accent via Delaware and Pennsylvania, So you may hear me say, I'm going down Wawa and get a hoagie. But I say that to crack myself up. One of the languages I speak is the language of the road trip, the language of driving a car. Now, one of the reasons I speak that language is because that's a language you speak too. I may not speak French, you may not speak French, but we all know how to speak about driving a car and going on a trip, a road trip. So I like to use that metaphor, so you will hear me talk about this a lot, okay? What I will tell you about is treating your life like, first of all, you're in the car. You are the driver. You're not the passenger, somebody else. You are the driver of your own life. This means you can steer in any direction. You have control over whether you're stepping on the gas or stepping on the brake or in neutral and in just hanging out in the driveway. Maybe you're spinning your wheels because you're stuck. Maybe you are in the slow lane, but you want to get up to speed. Maybe you've been flying down the high speed lane, but it's kind of freaking you out and you've regretted speeding so fast you want to slow it down. Now, those are just a couple of the metaphors, but just to let you know what that's like, right? You want to be cruising. I want to help you cruise along, enjoying what you're doing as much as you can when you're decluttering, but you can enjoy it because you're going to be like, this is not that bad. I am making a positive result and it looks better after I do my thing. Yay, this wasn't so bad as I thought it was. This was my most recent TikTok video. This was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's why I said to Kat Roby, when you get to that scary bag of paperwork, we are here for you. We can help you through what you think is going to be scary. Okay? So, a destination. Why do I call it Destination Decluttered? I call it that because it really put into perspective this whole road trip framework, overlay, whatever you want to call it, really helped me in my life when I realized that one of the reasons why I wasn't getting the life I wanted and why my house was so whatever was two reasons. I'll do this kind of life coachy and then declutter coachy. So in my life coachiness, I realized that I had no destination I was excited to get to. Now, if I'm excited about a destination, I will make a plan. I will make shit happen. This is how I'm wired, and I like making cool stuff happen. So if you say to me, hey, you want to drive to, I don't know, someplace fun, like a hot springs hotel in Virginia. I know there's one. Ooh, that's a place I want to go to. Okay, when can we go? How soon can we get there? How do we get there? Let's make a map. Let's fill up the tank with gas. Let's go. Will we get there in one day? No. Don't expect to get there in one day. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pace myself when I'm driving. So I give myself some breaks. I go out and I stretch. I go pee. I grab some lunch. I stop and I see the scenic vistas along the way. If I see something I'm truly interested in, I say, okay, maybe I won't get as far, but I'm going to enjoy the journey. See what I'm saying? If, on the other hand, you're looking ahead and all you see is doom and gloom, it's really going to slow your roll. Now, not to say that there's not a lot of doom and gloom ahead, but focusing on something you can do helps you get up and take action, okay? Good morning, Erica Linz. So Erica says, I love your lives. You always motivate me and inspire me. Now, I like to reiterate that, not only for you, so thank you, but also when I upload these TikTok live recordings to YouTube, the scrolling with the comments doesn't apply, but I think it's important for people to know that you can hear somebody and be inspired, and that's okay. And my thing is to inspire you and encourage you. We talked about this yesterday. I think it was somebody said you inspired me. I will totally take that with gratitude and gratefulness. Thank you. I like to use the word encourage because it has the word courage in it. Encourage. I give you some courage to open up that scary bag of paperwork and know that you'll be okay. Hey, Lori Hanna, nice to see you. I'm looking at my map. Arizona's there. PA is there. 6 a.m. where you are. 8:15 where I am. I know, it's so funny. We were talking about daylight savings in Arizona the other day at a trivia thing. But nice to see you, Lori. So yeah, while I'm here encouraging you, here's some courage. You can get through the stuff that you're kind of scared to do. Okay? Hannah's in North Carolina. There we go. Yeah, and you know what? Trust me, Erica, I'm not trying to change your your words. What I'm sharing is that there are, if you think about it, and this is an important part of coaching, there are different words that are similar yet slightly different that may change how you think about things. Yes, I am courageous. I am going to boldly go where I haven't gone before because I have courage, and I'm going to open that bag of paperwork that I'm afraid to see what's in there. And then you dump out the bag and you start categorizing it. You know, it's like, oh, there's all those Verizon bills I kind of avoided. Oh, there's all the stuff that is still in an envelope that I haven't even opened up. Oh, crap, you're right. There's that bill I had to pay. Oh, wait, this is no big deal. This is just trash paper. I can recycle this. I help you through the stuff you're scared by, okay? And what I help you understand, and this is you up here and you in here, your nervous system, that there really isn't anything truly to be afraid of except for the words in your head making you feel a bad feeling. That's really all it's about, is words in your head make your heart feel bad, and then depending upon that, you either do things on the outside of your skin or not. Okay? So, there we go, Alice and there we go, Alice and Hannah are in North Carolina. Maybe they're neighbors. Wouldn't it be funny? You know? Good morning, damn it, Donna. God, Donna, what the hell are you doing? Jeez Louise. I love putting on my Boston accent. It comes very naturally. So, I love it. And I see, Cat Roby, I told you. I know probably what's in your bag, so dump it out. There we go. Like everybody's chiming in. So, don't be afraid. So if we said that really what is going on with you, at least this is the way I describe it because it makes sense to me and it calms me down to realize all that's really jamming me up are words in my head. What? Wait, whoa, no, I have all this stuff out here. Yeah, the stuff doesn't matter. This is when I knew that the clutter world was the right one for me. First of all, I grew up in it. I grew up in a cluttered home. I have collector parents. I have grandparents on both sides that had sheds and barns filled with things that you might need someday, attics filled with stuff. I, too, for decades, collected, and then my collecting turned into clutter, and then we had a basement, and then we moved into this house 20 years ago when it looked like we had been here for 20 years. I know what it's like to be cluttered, and I know how fun it can be to acquire things for a certain while, but I will be honest with you, 40s into 50s, now I'm mid-50s plus, it's not as fun to acquire things because I'm seeing that they are building up. So I am here, I had to learn myself how to knock it down, okay? So I learned this myself. I kind of taught myself, but of course, not alone. I read books and I pulled these things. I kind of made a patchwork quilt of what worked for me. Actually, patchwork quilt, we were talking about this yesterday. Get somebody to make a what do you call it? A little lap blanket from the t-shirts you don't wear, okay? I used Project Repat. This is not a commercial. I'm just telling you. You don't have to do it. And boy, I forgot to shut off my notifications. So if you see me doing this, I'm just lovingly scooting my friends away while I'm trying to cough. Okay? But here we go. So, a bag? Lol, I have multiple bags, Alice says. Yes, but you know what? Everybody starts with one. You can't do all the bags at the same time. So we're only going to do one bag at a time. Yeah, Linda Moser says, I'm 70. Imagine the collections. Pamela got a lot of her clutter. It's a mess from inheritance. Yes, things get into your house many ways. When you stop to think, how did this get here? How did I get here? Do I want it or not? There we go. Yes, and notice, I have so many bags, just this one today. Just for now, I'm going to do one bag. So, I think I got a little bit derailed, so I'm going to get back on the track. So, I can look at a pile of clutter and think one thing and feel one thing. You can look at a pile of clutter and think one thing and therefore feel one thing, a different thing. Now, think about this. When you look at your clutter, you probably have a lot of thoughts in your head that cause you to feel not so great about it. So notice the connection between, as I like to say, your head and your heart. I use your heart as like the catch-all to be like the feeling part of you, your body, or your life. But you go into somebody else's house and you look at a pile of clutter, you have different thoughts. One is you could be mean and judgy and judge them. Oh my God, they're so cluttered. Don't be that person. Do not be that person. It's mean. You could also look at it and be like, oh yeah, they got a bunch of stuff here, but I don't care because I just want to sit at the office. I just want to sit at the table and have coffee with my friend. Now they look at that same pile. They have a lot more thoughts in their heads that make them feel a feeling. So notice the connection. The stuff is the stuff that triggers, that causes you to think a thought that kind of sometimes comes unbidden. But, and here is a really big but, I got big butts and I can't deny. All of my friends have big butts, okay? I am here to offer to you and remind you, you have a choice as to what words go through your head. Now, many of us have this kind of running dialogue, this constant stream. Oh, somebody put lights there. Very cool, thank you. Cat Ruby says, suddenly I need to clean the toilet. You know what? Sometimes those things happen. Yeah. I totally fell off the tree. Let me climb back up it. Many of us have a running commentary, kind of like the little kid in the back seat. I like to say with the Mr. Microphone. You can't do that. You need to do this. Hey, hey, little lady, we'll be back to pick you up later. No, you have a little kid in the back seat who's just constantly pa. Sometimes, because they are on the constant stream and they barely take a breath, you may be mistaken in thinking that's the only voice you hear. That's the only voice that exists in your head. No. Because what we do, and when I'm speaking, I quiet down that backseat driver, the little kid. Shh, I'm talking. You had your moment. Now it's my turn. And I show up in the physical manifestation of what I call your co-pilot. I have one. You have one. Everybody's got a co-pilot voice. This is a different voice. This is the opposite. I love playing opposites. It's like a game. This is the opposite of your backseat driver. When your backseat driver says no, your co-pilot says, why not? Why can't it be a yes? When your backseat driver says, no, stop, I'm afraid, you say, okay, maybe there's something to be afraid of, thank you, but maybe there's nothing to be afraid of. Notice how Cat Roby is afraid of paper. Paper in a bag. Paper in a bag will not kill you, but we are wired, human-wise, to be afraid of things that are going to cause us pain or harm. Okay? Yeah, and Hannah admits, or not admits, yes, so much easier to clean someone else's house. Mine stresses me out. It's not the clutter that stresses you out. Hear me out. This is all live. This is not Memorex, but my brain is offering. It is not the clutter that stresses you out. It is what you think about the clutter and how that thought makes you feel. Let me repeat that because that's really good stuff. Notice that you're in somebody else's house and you see clutter. You have no problem cleaning it up and putting it away, whatever. So the clutter is not the problem. The clutter is not the thing. It's not even a problem. The clutter is not the thing. The thing is the thoughts, and I like to keep it simple, the words in your head. Thoughts are words in your head. So the words in your head, depending upon what they are, can make you feel a feeling in your heart, in your nervous system. And depending upon what went on in your head and what is going on in your heart, you will do something with your hands. You will move your body or you won't move your body. Okay? So, just remember that simple thing. Because what we can do is when we know it all starts up here, we have a choice. Now, I like to divide things. I feel like I'm the Pope or something. I didn't mean to do that. But right down the middle here, on the one hand, you have your backseat driver who's all about fear and no and afraid. They're going to stop you from doing anything that's going to change you from what you have now. But if you want to change, you can hop over the fence. You can go to the other hand, on the other side. There is an opposite thought. Play with that. Oh yeah, you tossed me a no, I tossed back a yes. You tossed me a fear, I tossed you back a love. You tossed me a guilt. I tossed you a absolution. It's like a fun, easy game of volleyball where you're not going to get your nose broken. You can choose. You can create different thoughts in your head. You can think differently about your clutter. And I will offer this. You are probably judging yourself and judging yourself harshly and being mean to yourself about the amount of stuff in your home and where it currently is stored. Again, you are probably telling yourself a story in your head that makes your heart feel bad, and that story is about my story of clutter. You are being judgy and you're treating yourself bad. Boop. Stop it. Stop it, Johnny. Put up your traffic cop hand and say, nope, no more. I do this, not on my watch. This does not happen, okay? Don't judge yourself. Instead of being judgmenty, get curious. Look at it objectively. Quiet down the story. And when you quiet down the story, you're going to say, you know what that is? That's just a hamper full of curtains that used to hang in a house that I owned. That's all that is. Now, I don't own that house anymore. You know what I'm talking about. I don't own that house anymore. That's okay. I own this house. Does this house need curtains right now? No? Pretty good. Might I need curtains in the future? I don't know. I might. Okay. If I might need curtains, do I want these curtains to be in this house? And notice what I'm doing. I'm having a conversation and I'm pausing to allow myself to answer. Yeah. Do this with yourself. Okay? Now, I love it. You guys, we are helping Kat Roby. Kat has opened. I feel like I'm kind of doing the blow by blow. She's emptied the bag onto the breakfast bar. Looks like mostly junk mail and some avoided actions. Okay? So look at it. You are afraid of a bag full of stuff. There's a bunch of junk in there and a few avoided actions. So Kat Roby, good for you for emptying out, for dumping out the junk drawer or the doom bag or whatever you want to call it. The collection of things that you became feeling afraid of. But when you took your hands to dump out that bag, you saw what really was going on, which was just, yeah, there's some stuff I avoided. Now I can do it and I can throw away a bunch of this. Keep us posted. Keep us in the loop. We are here for you. Okay? Okay. So Erica Len says, mine is, I don't have a lot of space and nowhere to go with said clutter. Okay. Well, here's the thing. You shouldn't go anywhere with your clutter. Now, what do I mean by that? This is what I mean by that. The stuff you want to keep is no longer clutter. Maybe the way you currently have merchandised, displayed, stored, the stuff that you want to keep is cluttery, but it is not clutter. Because clutter is the stuff that you do not want, but part of you is telling you to hang on to it. Okay? So just notice that. Now, if you have decluttered and you've gotten rid of the stuff you don't want, or even some of it, and you have stuff that you want to keep and store or display or merchandise in a certain way, that's a different thing. Yeah. Oceanana, spot on. It's the attachment to stuff. Attachment to stuff. Where's the stuff? Here's the stuff. Everywhere. Oh, you know what I've been talking about? It's an attachment to a thing. I have attached a story to the thing and what it means if I keep it and what it means about me, what it reveals about me if I let it go. So I spent money on those curtains. I feel guilty. I feel wasteful. I don't feel good when I imagine myself throwing them away. So then we say, how about this? And I encourage this. Do not throw them away. I say to everybody, the stuff that you have that you no longer want, that is still usable to anybody else, or even something that, I was on a phone call yesterday and a client had like a little knitted thing that her grandmother made, but she didn't want it. Even if it's something you think nobody else will want, Don't be the judge of that. You don't know other people. You don't know what they're looking for. I say this to encourage you. See what I did there? Encourage you to donate the usable items you have to a place where people who need those items can go and look for them. Now, I have been and continue to be on both sides of this equation. A lot of the stuff, so much of my stuff in my house has been thrifted. So much of the stuff in my house has been from garage sales, has been from a free pile on the side of the road, has been from, somebody saying somebody died, come take what you want. It doesn't mean you're a bad person if you bought something and you used it for a while and you no longer use it and you don't want it anymore. You are not a bad person. So, you keeping the stuff is irrelevant. Please, everybody, absolve yourself of the fear and guilt of just removing the things that no longer fit in the life you have. Yeah, you did spend money on things. You will spend money on things. Today, I betcha, you may make a purchase today of something that ends up not working out like you hoped. Or it works out like you hoped for a while, and then after that, you're like, you know what? I never want to make another George Foreman grill burger again. Now, the funny thing is, my husband and I have been married 22 years. He wanted a George Foreman grill for our wedding. We got one. I think we use it maybe once a year, but it's still in the cupboard in the kitchen, but it doesn't get in the way. So I'm okay with that, okay? But just notice that there's a thought in your head about what it means to release something. Does it make you a bad person? Do you feel wasteful? Not thrifty, okay? There's also, as Oceanana says, the sentimental attachment. I've told the story all week about this salt shaker. To you, this is just a salt shaker. To me, this was my great Aunt Aga's. I can picture it on her table as I went over, big surprise, where she was decluttering the one-bedroom apartment she lived in since the end of World War II with Uncle Jim. And my family, especially on the Lenin side, we are saltaholics. We are saltaholics. And so this isn't just a single salt pepper shaker. If it was, and I thrifted it, I could probably easily put it in a thrift thing. But no, I was saying how I want to find a mate for it. Now, the neat thing is, you guys, I'm on the journey about it. But yes, there is sentimentality. There is a personal story that makes me feel a feeling. I feel a connection to my great aunt who passed away in 1991. No, 2001. Decades. It reminds me that my salt tongue is inherited. Maybe because they salted the food so much, Notice why you keep your stuff. Slow down enough to hear your stories, and after you hear the story, you are more informed to make a better decision if you want to keep the thing or you want to if you feel better releasing it. Okay? Now, I'm catching up. Cat Roby says, I thought I'd address it when I traveled last week. I lugged it in vacation and never opened it. Yeah, you guys, I've done this myself. Don't bring work with you. Keep it in your house. Keep it in your house, because when you lug stuff with you, first of all, you're jamming up your vacation. Vacate. Punch the clock and enjoy your vacation. Do not muddy the waters, okay? Also, my mother does this all the time. Luckily, I have worked. So for the past lifetime, really, but in the past 3 years, I have actively been helping my aging mother with her clutter. And one of the habits she has, because cluttering is a habit, is saying, I don't have time to do that now, but I'll throw this mail in my bag, and while I'm waiting for the doctor, I will do it. But sometimes you don't have that waiting time to do it. And then you might lose the paperwork. You may forget what bag it is. You may leave it in the bag and then forget where it is. I know this because I have found stuff that has been in pockets of bags. So please keep your stuff where it is safe, where you know you're not going to lose it, okay? And user 8043, you're not your own worst enemy, even though that makes me think of that song from the 90s. No, you are not your enemy. You just don't know what to do in that situation. So you do what comes to mind, okay? There are no enemies here, okay? Now, this is funny. Bill Smith, so is clutter just garbage? It can be. Clutter stuff you don't want that you struggle to get rid of. That's what I say. Clutter is just stuff you don't want, that you're afraid to get rid of. There we go. Lorgan Voorhees says, I just looked through a small pile of Christmas cards from 2023 with the kind of oh my god face. Funny thing is, I will share this with you guys, right? Real. Paper piles drive me nuts. I use mine as a panini press. We typically have used ours as a panini press as well. But here's a funny thing. Lorgan Voorhees, you want to see Christmas cards? Check this out. You guys are all going to crack up. You will crack up at the size of this Whitman sampler box. I cracked up at the size of this Whitman sampler box. That's why I bought this size Whitman sampler box. Check this out. I have to back up so you can see the whole thing. See this? This, let me see if I can open it. I don't know if I can't see over it, but this is my collection of saved Christmas cards. I also have a smaller Whitman sampler box inside for the good ones, the really good ones. This is part of my Christmas stuff. I brought this up early because I want to make, so funny. Oh, this is it. Oh, very cool. I already found it. Thanks for helping me, guys. I'm going to make Christmas cards this year, and I say make, I mean upload an image to a place on the internet and they're going to print them. But I made this artwork last year in a little craft class when I was hanging out with my friends, and I'm going to use this as my holiday card this year. So when I was in the basement last week, I brought this up specifically to find this so I could take the next step and get the cards made. So thank you for helping me with that. There's no fault in hanging around, holding on to stuff. I hold on to stuff, but what I have done is every year I go through those and I decide I save them for a year, and then the next year I go through and I think of those people. Some of them I keep and some of them I pitch. We all do it. It's okay. I went through, I curated, I decided, I made an informed decision about which ones I keep. And one of the things that helps me is the size of that box. I will not keep anything more than what fits in that box. And I got used to saying just because I throw away the card doesn't mean I'm throwing away the love that that person had or the thought that they had of me. I am helping myself stop being as cluttery as I used to. I used to save a lot more, and I was like, oh, I'll do crafty things. I'm not going to do crafty things. Okay. There we go. Natalie says, I bought sea salt for my grinder and realized it was wet and doesn't work, so I'm going to use it for pasta water. What a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, and notice too, I feel like I have to be in the right place to sort papers. The cards were easy. Yeah, because the cards tell a different story than, oh my gosh, I have to go look at this thing and say, why does the dentist continue to bill us for our cleanings that's supposed to be covered under our insurance? Why is my husband getting charged a thing that was supposed to be covered by that insurance? What is this thing? Oh, that's right. I have to look at my will and make sure that my allocations are still the way I wanted them to, because they may have changed in the last 7 years. There are different things you definitely need to be kind of in the right, Lord Gimme Voorhees says in the right place. That can be a physical place. I like to say I need to be in the right frame of mind. I need to have a frame that, okay, today's the day I'm going to look at my will. That's totally different than saying, oh, I don't need this card that I got from somebody who used to live across the street from me who now lives in New Jersey. Yeah. Yep. Now I love it. Laura's saying I'm not keeping any. Just saved address check on the computer. I am totally old school with what I do, but I like it. I'll show you what I do. Because I am a collector, and this tells me a story. See this pack of papers right here? This is, every year we make a list of who we do our Christmas cards to. And this has been going on, so this is really funny. I go back because I save it because I'm a saver and a historian. Christmas cards year 2000. And you look back and you see who was on that card. The thing that cracks me up is I flip it over and I had written it on the back of something. Greyhound ticket confirmation and itinerary 12500. Thank you for your online order. This was when I was supposed to take the bus from Wilmington to New York and New York to Newton, Massachusetts, to go up to Massachusetts from Delaware for my first Christmas. We overslept. I missed the bus. But I like doing this. I like thinking of those people. It's heartbreaking sometimes because I look through here right now. I see people who are no longer with us. I see friends that I thought I had friends there, and then they just kind of faded out of our lives. I see, And Anna Borg's mom, I sent her a card in 2016. I believe Anna's mother has passed. Sadly, I see our friend Pete, who we sent cards to, and he passed away this summer. It's a bit heartbreaking, but it's also, it reminds me of how lucky we are to have so many awesome people in our lives. And these lists change, so this is what I do. This year, I will do the same thing. And you know me, if you, this is so funny. I'm cracking myself up. When you coach with me, my clients know that I'm all about folding the paper. I made 4 columns right here. And that's about as crafty as I get. Okay? So we all have our own way of dealing with our clutter. You know, somebody says, what does it say? It's Old Lang Syne. You know, should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Time is passing, friends are having fun. I don't know. It was like a ladies' craft night. But I don't like to create something and not create it and not do something with it. So yeah, that's what that says. Okay. So I'm backing up. Yeah, and I like boxes too. This is a thing you have to watch. I mean, I like beef butts, and I can't deny I'll always go to that. Containers. That Whitman sampler box is a container. The Whitman sampler box inside the Whitman sampler box is a container. Now, there is a difference between containing clutter and containing stuff that you know you have and want to keep, and it's organized. So these are all containers. You don't know because you don't have X-ray specs, so you have no idea if there's anything in those containers, if the stuff in there is a hot mess of stuff that I've just avoided, or if it's organized. You have X-ray specs, though, with your containers. Stored clutter. Is it in a tub? Is it in a bag? Is it in a behind a door of a closet? Is it in a drawer? Even with those things shut, you know there's stuff in there, and whether it's organized and taken care of, or whether it's unorganized clutter you haven't dealt with. So I know I don't have to worry about these things. I look at these things. They do not activate my nervous system because I know that I've organized the stuff in there. And I know so when I go to look for something to hang a picture or a bracelet to wear or an old, postcard collection I want to sort through, I know where they are. So think about how you sometimes think. Let me share this with you. Sometimes people think all I need to do is buy the right container and that will solve my clutter problem. No, I kind of call bullshit on that. As you can see, the right container at the right time is very handy. But you gotta sort it before you store it. Now, the funny thing is, the people who make money selling you the containers conveniently don't want to talk about sorting the stuff. That's why I show up prior to the purchase of the container. I help you sort through your stuff, and you decide, because you've organized it, and I mean categorized it rather, what you want to keep and what you want to save. Should it stay or should it go? Okay? Yeah. Now, Brenwen says, idea for selling my mom's many collectibles and crafting supplies. She passed away last year. Hon, I am sorry. There's many ways you can do it. A lot of people have had luck with Facebook Marketplace. So if the things are truly something that somebody else will spend a lot of coin on, maybe eBay. Or you can donate them, you can gift them, you can share them with people. There's so many things. I will say this, a little bit at a time, finding a category. Like, for example, I have something that I had an inadvertent collection of from stuff for books I used to write. And I realized I had a number of items that were from, frankly, drive-in movie theaters. And I realized, you know what? I don't want this stuff anymore. And then I thought, well, who might want this? And then it came to me, I am lucky enough to live in the state with the oldest drive-in movie theater in the country. And recently, a young, energetic couple has taken it over, and they are doing wonderful things. So that category of stuff that I no longer want, this Sunday, after we do our decluttering party, I am going to get in the car and I'm going to drive north to Allentown. And I'm going to meet them and I'm going to give them this box of drive-in movie memorabilia. So I'm not saying be, playing matchmaker, make me a match, or you don't have to be like Noah's Ark or anything. But think of who might want to use that. And even if you can't think of anybody specific, that's the wonderful thing about thrift stores, is those are the third place. They're the go-between place between people who don't want stuff, put it there, and people who want stuff, go there. And hopefully the magic of the thrift store means you don't have your stuff anymore and they get to get something. Okay? So you could, Judy is asking, could donate craft things? Yep. Yeah. So, here we go. I'm backing it up. So Brenwyn, I hope you're seeing that people are give stuff. Oceanana says, I took some craft supplies to the senior center. They were so happy. Damn it, Donna says, contact the local art museum. All right, Kat Roby's checking in. We got like 14 minutes left. 20 minutes of inspiration left. Another bag? I know it's old and needs a high-level sort. I don't know. You can always start it. If you want to have something that you finished, I'm sorry, Kat, I was trying. It doesn't matter what you do. Don't worry, you don't have to finish it. Even starting something that's been hanging over your head, as I like to say, that's been weighing you down, even breaking the seal on it and getting that started. I bet you can do that, you know? So yeah, do the oldest thing first. It really, you guys, the wonderful thing about decluttering is, while there are certain areas where it helps to go through a certain process, the process is the same. What you do, where you apply that process, doesn't really matter because you're going to be applying that process often. Lead with your heart. Trust your gut. Oh, you know what? That bag of paper's been a long time. I'll do that. Yeah. And Strong Silver Soul Sister, nice to see you, says, I used to buy containers left and right and still wasn't organized. Yeah, damn it, Donna says you're not alone. They were just clutter relocators for me. Yeah. When I was helping my mother, the first thing I did, the first year I was going up to Massachusetts, a week at a time for like a whole year, every month, what I did was I emptied out a lot of her half-filled containers, and I put the containers down the basement, or the cellar if Cat Mama's here. And they were there if we needed them. But when we dealt with the stuff that was in there, we needed very few containers. We needed maybe 5% of the 100% that she had bought. We used maybe 5 or 10% of them. Yeah. So notice the money that No, I love it. Abbott Elementary. Sorting has been a game changer for me. I never did it in your past life. No, now you and I are working together. And sorting is really, as I like to say, categories. Just think, categories. Name of things that are in this random, this junk drawer. I got pencils. I got rubber bands. I got pennies. I got, paper clips. I have, and you play matchy-matchy. You do play matchy-matchy with that stuff because this is why you do it. So you can see what quantity of items you have. And then you say to yourself, do I need to use all of these? Could I live without some of these? Could I live without some of these? That's the decluttering process. What are these? How many do I have? Could I live without some or all of these? And then you stop. Hammer time. And again, I feel like the Pope or somebody on a statue. You quiet down the backseat drivers and listen for your answer. How many spatulas do I really need? I have had that conversation with my mother. I have had that conversation with my husband. Spatulas are obviously a thing. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Kat Roby, isn't it good you're doing this? Look at how much kicking of ass you have done, and it's not even 9 a.m. You're going to be walking around today feeling like you could change the world. She says, I also toted this bag to Florida. Florida. Did you hear how I just pronounced that? Wicked funny. There is a last-minute actionable item I shoved in there. Thank frickin' God you found it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank yourself for going into that bag. Do not drag your smelly clutter with you on a fun vacation. Do not do that. You're supposed to be getting away from it. Okay? And notice, even when you do it, you're not doing it. I am so glad, Kat, you found that actionable mail so you can do something with it before it gets worse. Now, nothing's going to kill you here, but it may cost you money and aggravation. Yeah, Florida. Yeah, damn it, Donna. Damn it, Johnny, you live in Florida. Jeez Louise. Too funny. Now, I'm backing up. Oh, Natalie says you'll only be an hour away from me, which drive-in. Lesson learned. Follow them here on TikTok. That would be really fun. Shankweiler's Drive-In in Orfield, PA, is the oldest running drive-in movie theater in the country. It was the second drive-in that was built in the country back in, I think, 1938. The first one ever that was built was in Camden, New Jersey. That has long been demolished and stuff has been built over it. But Shankweiler's is the oldest continually operating drive-in movie theater in the entire country. Now, up in that area, too, is Becky's in Walnutport, I think. But Shankweiler's is the OG for all of us. So I used to write books about road tripping. This is how I know this stuff. That's how I also apply the road trip metaphor to know what it's like to be on a good road trip and a road trip that doesn't feel so good. So I hope that helps. There we go. You've been going since childhood. Awesome. Mary likes it too. Yeah, they're here on TikTok. They're wicked cute. I did a video. I will share this with you guys. I used to have a website. I still do, but it's just dormant now, called Retro Roadmap. That's when I wrote my books. And I had a video series that I did because I did a Kickstarter. Very first video I did was back in maybe 10 years ago. And it was at Shankweiler's. So if you want to see me looking 10 years older and probably 25 pounds skinnier on a video, go to YouTube and Google Retro Roadmap and stuff like that there. It was really fun. A friend of mine did the video. My husband did the music. Friends of ours. It's so funny. I realized that friends of ours were there and their kids are there. Now their kids are in like junior high and high school. It's crazy. You know? So, enough of this. There we go. I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Really good thing to notice, and I will share. Okay, Natalie is talking about Walnutport. So, yes. Laura says, I am recognizing, noticing, observing, feeling. Pay attention to your recognizer and your feeler and your noticer. I am recognizing that my decision-making muscle is tired. Recognize that. I am going to switch to something that I don't have to make decisions on. Washing dishes. Yes. Notice that there's going to be the deep end of the pool. Decision-making, the deep end of the pool. Do I want this or not? That will cause you to use energy. Your energy then may be empty, like a gas tank. You need to do something else to refill that. So do something mundane, what I like to call your surface clutter. Okay, so Laura, I love that you recognize that in yourself, and you could shift gears. Notice how I say that, like as if I'm still driving a standard shift car, but you can shift gears and do something else that still is going to make your home look good, feel good, function well. When you don't have dishes in the sink and you have clean dishes where you can eat and drink off of them. Very good stuff, lady. And I know you've been sick this week. So notice that every day you're going to have every day you have a different amount of energy than another day. And you're going to have a different amount of energy and a different amount of time that you have to devote to things. Now, I have a certain amount of time today that I have for coaching, and then I'm packing, and then I'm going away for the overnight, but I'm going to have lunch with a friend, etc. Every day is a little bit different. So take into consideration. Consider yourself at home. Consider the amount of energy you have and the amount of time you have. Take those into consideration when you're planning your day. When you're planning your actions for the day, and plan accordingly so you don't run out of gas midway through your trip. Okay. Now, Kara, mom with dementia has diverticulitis this week. Oh, hon. Planting bulbs and going to Savers. Do that. Also, this is a totally like one-on-one. Kara, I don't even know if this would be of interest of you, but I read about it in the Boston Globe. I don't even know if you were in the punk rocks era back in the day, but there's an exhibition going on at Harvard about like stuff from back in the day at the Rat and stuff. I don't know, you can Google it, but that might be something to distract you. You might be able to get away and go do something that would be enjoyable. I have that on my list for one of the next times I'm up in Mass, so I just wanted to offer that to you. Now here is a wonderful thing. Kat Roby, going through the stuff she was afraid of, she just found $50 in cash. Kat says, I found a cellophane enclosed birthday card with $50 in cash intended for me from my ever-planning mother. I keep it to keep finding it. Yeah, so notice when you're going through. Kat said 55 minutes ago, Kat was afraid to look in a bag. She didn't realize there was a treasure in that bag, a legit cash treasure. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but it happens frequently, you know? And look, my mom passed, so that is a sentimental item. So just think, your mom is saying, good job, Kat. Good job for you to go through this. Here, I'm going to reward you. I am thinking of you from up here in heaven. And I am saying, yay, congratulations on going through that bag of stuff. Okay, such cool stuff. You know, okay, Carrie, you were there? Cool. Google the thing about it was in the Globe, and I'm sure I know it's on the Harvard website. Yep, I used to go to Spit as well. Very funny. We probably slam danced next to each other, right? Very funny. You're not alone. Yeah, none of us, we're not alone. No. When you feel alone, then you feel overwhelmed. No, you've got community. I have a thing that says, here's a funny thing. I have to flick away a thing that says you have messages notifying because they were building up. I know when I do that, I am not alone. I have friends who are sending me messages. I also know, because I flicked that away, now I have 16 more messages, that there are over 100 people here on this TikTok Live right now. Now, I'm going to sign off in like 3 or 4 minutes because I have to go into coaching today. But I want to offer to you, you are not the only one who struggles with clutter. I say this to encourage you that what you're going through is really a thing in our society that's going on, and you just don't realize you have this in common with other people. When I show up and I start talking about clutter, people are like, hey, wait, what? Me? You? And then you're like, oh, all of us? Oh, I'm not alone? It's not because I have moral failings or I'm a bad person that I struggle with these things. The answer is no, no, no. You are not alone in your clutter. There are ways to help you move through your clutter. Now, I do paid one-on-one coaching. If that sounds of interest to you, get in touch with me. If you say already you don't even know what I'm charging, but you can't afford it, I get it. Sign up for my free mailing list. But just know how funny it is that you don't even know how much I charge for my coaching, and you might be saying no to yourself to something that could change your life. Just saying. But the other thing is, too, is that there is stuff you can do. If you want to learn those things, hang out with me. I like to share the stuff what I learned. You know, I love it. Grace says, I found very important documents 2 days ago that I've been looking for them for about 5 years. Yeah, there we go. Kat Roby, goal now, pack it up, put it away in 3 minutes and move on with my day. Yes, look at the great stuff you did just because you showed up and I was hanging out with you when you did this TikTok, when I was doing this TikTok Live. This is the same thing, but even better, I think, that's going to happen on Sunday when we do the Destination Decluttered decluttering party for free for the people on the mailing list. Mailing list is destinationdecluttered.com/join. You know, Lori Hannah says coaching is life-changing. Beth is the best. Thank you very much, you guys. You know, Lil Jojo says, how can I declutter my shoe closet? One pair at a time. One pair at a time. Do I wear these shoes? Are they comfortable? Am I going to wear them again? Yes or no? You know, there we go. Scheduled Beth Blinders for the win. Excellent. So, yes, encouragement. This is good stuff, people. Yeah. Yeah. If there's a chance that we should have a day's empty lot of days, why grouse? Yes. That's what I say. Consider yourself part of the furniture. I always think of that when clutter, when you no longer see your clutter because you've put on blinders to your clutter, it has become part of the furniture. There we go. Gen Xers who know the good songs. Love it. All right. So you guys, I'm going to sign off now and hop into coaching and then do some fun stuff. I will not be on TikTok tomorrow doing any kind of TikTok Live. Same thing with Sunday, because Sunday we're doing the Zoom. So the next time you will see me will be possibly on Monday, but I actually have to check the calendar myself. If you want to know when I'm showing up, oh, hold on. TikTok is doing a thing here. If you want to know the next time I'm doing a TikTok Live, get on my mailing list. Then you get access to the calendar, okay? I truly hope this helped. I had a wicked lot of fun doing it. Always fun to connect with you guys. Let's give a round of applause to Kat Roby, who went through the scary bag of paperwork. And you can do it too. If she did it, you can do it, okay? I'm going to sign off now, and I will see you.